Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammam sangham namasami.
I see that someone's tried to join the Zoom in a different room, so.
So we're about to start with a sutta reading, and there's a little bit of technical issue that Yannika is working on. So thank you for your patience if you're in YouTube. Start. So today we're going to be discussing patience. I'm going to do reflections on patience. And this word, Kanti, is what's often translated as patience, and it's also translated as patient endurance. And it's a wholesome, skillful mental quality that the Buddha praised. And true Kanti is non-reactive, and it helps to overcome other defilements. It has the quality of persistence, and it helps with our daily lives and formal meditation. It is a support for developing unwavering mind and deep equanimity. It's a proactive mental state or an attitude. Since we can't avoid adversities, we can use patience to avoid the waverings of the mind and unwholesome mental states that might arise. So these daily difficulties, these unavoidable difficulties of life are can be met with patience, and that patience nurtures the wholesome qualities of receptivity, tolerance, endurance, persistence, and forgiveness. So all these work together to help balance the mind. So welcome those who've just joined. I see Mudita has joined. So we're going to reflect on a few suttas, extracts from suttas that have patience as an element in them. And in the middle-length discourses, in number 2, the Sabbasava Sutta, there's different sections on how to abandon the asavas, to abandon the taints or the defilements of the mind that block our awakening. So the section on abandoned by endurance, and it comes, I forget which number it is. It's around 4 or 5 in the list, but it talks about reflecting wisely and using patience reflecting wisely with patience. And this is, I'll start reading. This is Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation. What taints, bhikkhu, should be abandoned by enduring? Here, a bhikkhu, reflecting wisely, bears cold, heat, hunger, thirst, and contact with godflies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and creeping things. So the bearing, this is a bearing or enduring with patience. It's this word, patisankha yoni kamo hoti. So kamo is related to kanti, and they've translated it as bearing and enduring. So enduring hunger, enduring cold, heat, hunger, and thirst, and contact with insects, wind, sun, and creeping things. So this is all elements that sometimes are unavoidable. If we can protect ourselves from these things, then that's fine. But if we become impatient when we're in contact with these things, then it's just adding to our suffering. So enduring them with patience and reflecting wisely. This is another aspect of this way to abandon unwholesome qualities. But they also endure ill-spoken words, unwelcome words, and arisen bodily feelings that are painful, racking, sharp, piercing, disagreeable, distressing, and menacing to life, it says. So if we're developing patience and enduring patiently and bearing patiently, then sometimes there's discomfort in the body that can't be avoided. And especially, it says here, that are menacing to life, which means that may be life-threatening. At some point in our lives, this may be when we're approaching death. So if our mind is calm and equanimous, then we don't have to suffer. So the patience helps with this. And the sutta furthers, while taints, vexation, and fever might arise in one who does not endure patiently, such things, there are no taints, vexation, or fever in one who endures them patiently. I'm adding the patiently. It's not in the, but because I understand that that's actually part of that word. Now, these are the taints that should be abandoned by enduring patiently. So that's patisankha yoniso kamo hoti. That's reflecting wisely. The yoniso is patisankha is the reflecting, in yoniso is often translated as wisely, and kamo is the enduring patiently. So enduring patiently, we abandon unwholesome mental states when contact with things that are unwelcome, either through the elements or in contact with other people, but also maybe distress from the body. So I'm going to read Bhante Sujato's translation of the last paragraph in this section. For the distressing and feverish defilements might arise in someone who lives without patient enduring. These things do not arise when they are endured patiently. I'm adding patience into this as I understand it this way. I'll repeat that. For distressing and feverish defilements that might arise in someone who lives without enduring patiently, these things do not arise when they are endured patiently. So in that last part, there's a word, adiwasana, and it's translated as patience and strength without giving up, enduring, tolerating, withstanding, weathering. Reflecting wisely, we tolerate situations, but we also have the wisdom to avoid them when we can, leave a situation when we can. So this is reflecting wisely and enduring what can't be avoided. And Kanti is also mentioned in the Mangala Sutta. So I'm going to read a very brief extract. Kanti is one of the 38 blessings supreme. Being patient and easily spoken to, having the sight of ascetics, discussing the Dhamma at the right time. This is a supreme blessing. And now we're moving to the sutta that is in the connected discourses, and it's called patience, but it's also the Vipachitti Sutta. It's SN 11.4. So it's in the Saka Samyutta. And Saka is the Lord of the Devas in the Tawatingsa heaven. And the Tawatingsa Devas are often battling the Asuras, whose leader is Vipachitti. So this is the Bhante Sujato sometimes, instead of said once in the past, he says once upon a time, like it's a fable. So we can take it as these things actually happened, or this is similes of what goes on in our minds, even. So the Tawatingsa Devas and the Asuras were an array for battle, and the both leaders, both Vipachittis said, "Dear sirs, in the impending battle between the Devas and the Asuras, if the Asuras win and the Devas are defeated, bind Saka, Lord of Devas, by his four limbs and neck, and bring him to me in the city of the Asuras." And Saka says a similar thing, that Vipachitti should be brought to the Siddhama Hall, which is in the palace of the Devas. So he says, if the Devas win and the Asuras are defeated, bind Vipachitti, the lord of the Asuras, by his four limbs and neck, and bring him to me in the Siddhama Assembly Hall. And then the Buddha says, in that battle, because the Devas won and the Asuras were defeated, and then the Tawatingsa Devas bound Vipachitti, as that was described. And then Vipachitti, bound by his four limbs and neck, abused and reviled Saka with rude and harsh words. Then Bhikkhus Matali, the charioteer, addressed Saka, the lord of the Devas, in verse. On face to face with Vipachitti, is it Magawa from fear or weakness that you endure him so patiently, listening to his harsh words? And Saka replies, it is neither through fear or weakness that I am patient with Vipachitti. How can a wise person like me engage in combat with a fool? Matali answers, fools would vent their anger even more if no one would keep them in check. Hence, the drastic punishment. The wise man should restrain the fool. And Saka replies, I myself think this alone is the way to check the fool. When one knows one's foe is angry, one mindfully maintains one's peace. When one knows one's foe is angry, one mindfully maintains one's peace. I see this fault, O Asawa, in practicing patient endurance. When the fool thinks of you thus, he endures me out of fear. The dolt will chase you even more, as a bull does one who flees. Saka replies, Let it be, whether or not he thinks he endures me out of fear of goals that culminate in one's own good. None is found better than patience. Of goals that culminate in one's own good. None is found better than patience. Saka continues. When a person endowed with strength patiently endures a weakling, they call that the supreme patience. The weakling must be patient always. They call that strength no strength at all, the strength that is the strength of folly. But one who can reproach a person who is strong because one but one no one excuse me but no one can reproach a person who is strong because guarded by Dhamma. No one can reproach a person who is strong because guarded by Dhamma. One who repays an angry person with anger thereby makes things worse for himself or themselves. Not repaying an angry person with anger, one wins a battle hard to win. Not repaying an angry person with anger, one wins a battle hard to win. He practices for the welfare of both his own and the others when knowing that his foe is angry. He mindfully maintains his peace. One practices for the welfare of both one's own and the others when knowing that one's foe is angry. One mindfully maintains their peace. When one achieves the cure of both one's own and the others, the people who consider them a fool are unskilled in the Dhamma. So the Lord Buddha ends this tale with, so bhikkhus, if Saka, the Lord of the Devas, subsisting on the fruit of his own merit, exercising supreme sovereign and rulership over the Tawatingsa Devas, will be one who speaks in praise of patience and gentleness, then how much more would it be fitting for you who have gone forth in such well-expounded Dhamma and discipline to be patient and gentle? So immediately after this sutta comes another one that's almost identical in a lot of ways. It's a SN 11.5 in the connected discourses of the Buddha. And this is a victory by fine words or well-spoken words. So this will give us a little bit more time to reflect on it. So instead of the battle, they actually battle with chariots, and I don't know how they defeat one another with those kind of battles, but this is a battle of words. So this is Bhante Sujato's translation. So he starts out, at Sawati, once upon a time, mendicants, a battle was fought between the gods and the Titans. So this is the Devas and the Asuras. Then Wipachiti, the Lord of Titans, said to Saka, Lord of gods, let there be a victory by fine words. So this is a kind of a debate, or well-spoken words. Which words are well-spoken? And then Saka replies, Wipachiti, let there be a victory by fine words. Then the gods and the Titans appointed a panel of judges, saying, those will understand our good and bad statements. These will understand our good and bad statements. So the judges will understand this. Then Wipachiti, the Lord of Titans, said to Saka, Lord of gods, recite a verse. When he said this, Saka said to him, Wipachiti, you are the elder god here. Recite a verse. Wipachiti, recite a verse. So Wipachiti recited this verse. Fools would vent even more if no one to put a stop to them. So an intelligent person should stop a fool with forceful punishment. The Titans applauded Wipachiti's verse while the gods were silent. Then Wipachiti said to Saka, Lord of gods, recite a verse. So Saka recited this verse. I think that this is the only way to put a stop to a fool. When you know that the other one is upset, be mindful and stay calm. When you know that the other is upset, be mindful and stay calm. The gods applauded Saka's verse, while the Titans kept silent. Then Saka said to Wipachiti, oh, I think this is wrong. This must be Wipachiti speaking. I see this fault, wasawa, in just being patient. When a fool thinks, he puts up. No, this is Saka. I'm sorry. Saka says this. I see this fault, wasawa, in just being patient. Oh, I've got it wrong. Yeah, this is wrong. I'm sorry. It is Wipachiti. I see fault in this wasawa, in just being patient. When a fool thinks, he puts up with me out of fear. The simpleton will go after you even harder, like a cow chasing someone who runs away. And the Titans applauded Wipachiti's verse while the gods kept silent. Then Wipachiti said to Saka, Lord of gods, recite a verse. So Saka recited this verse. Let him think this if he wishes or not. He puts up with me out of fear of goals culminating in one's own good. None is better than patience is found. When a strong person puts up with a weakling, they call that the ultimate patience. For a weakling must always be patient. The strength of folly is really just weakness, they say. But no one can challenge a person who's strong, guarded by the teaching, guarded by the Dhamma. When you get angry at an angry person, you just make things worse for yourself. When you don't get angry at an angry person, you win a battle hard to win. When you know that the other is angry, you act for the good of both yourself and the other. If you're mindful and stay calm, people unfamiliar with the teaching consider one who heals both oneself and the other to be a fool. So they don't understand the teaching. But I'm going to repeat some of the more worthy of reflection here. Of goals culminating in one's own good. None better than patience is found. No one can challenge a person who's strong, guarded by the Dhamma. when you don't get angry at an angry person, you win a battle hard to win. When you know that the other is angry, you act for the good of both yourself and the other. If you're mindful and stay calm. You act for the good of both yourself and the other. If you're mindful and stay calm. So the story ends with Saka winning the victory of well-spoken words. The judges said, the verses spoken by Saka don't evoke punishment and violence. That's how you stay free of arguments, quarreling, and disputes. When you know that the other is upset, be mindful and stay calm. No goal or good is better than patience. So we can sit for silently reflecting on these verses. We'll sit for about 20 minutes and then I'll ring a bell. Well, thank you all for your patient listening, and hopefully some of these verses are helpful. We can end with the homage to the Buddha. We have a Buddha Rupa to bow to. You can join us in that way, or bow to the beautiful Buddha on the altar behind us. Araham Dhamma Sambuddha Bhagava Buddha Bhagavantang Abhivadi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasam. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sangha Sangho Sangham Namah. Have a good meditation.